The price of the XRP token has finally surpassed $1 for the first time since November of 2021. The total market cap for all cryptocurrency is now over $3 trillion. Did Gary Gensler, the head of the Securities Exchange Commission, just hint that he's going to be resigning from his position? And the last thing that we're going to be going over is hbar, hbar. Are they going to finally get a spot ETF? Make sure you guys tune in all the way to the end of the video to find out all the details. Hey guys, Ryan with Big Dog Investing. Thank you guys for tuning in my channel. If you guys could do a couple of things for me, if you guys go and like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you guys have not done so already. Click the bell notification down below so YouTube can send you guys notifications whenever I release videos. Watch my videos all the way to the end if you could. Share my videos and share my channel with anyone. I'm trying to grow my channel as much as I can. I definitely need your guys' help in doing so. Getting started. Today's to be Saturday, November 16th. This is kind of like an early night video. So if you guys are watching this, you guys are either going to be watching this late Saturday night, probably around the UFC fights, or you guys are going to be watching this early Sunday morning, but I always appreciate your guys' support. So getting started, the total market cap for all cryptocurrency right now is $3.04 trillion. This is a 0.87% increase on the day today. Bitcoin right now is currently trading at $90,712, Ethereum $3,137, and XRP, finally some great news, currently trading at $1.15. Now, if we look at the price of the XRP token on the 24-hour chart, we did reach a high today, this was earlier, of $1.23 per token. Obviously this was at 8 o'clock this morning my time, which is Mountain Standard Time. If you guys are on the East Coast, then this would be 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. But obviously XRP doing very well. If we look at the 7-day chart, XRP is currently up 105%, while Bitcoin is only up 18.28%. Ethereum on the 7-day is only up 0.51%. So overall, XRP is dominating in the market. We see Doge right here, 66.31%. So getting into our crypto bubbles though, if we look at the biggest gainers and losers, we have a lot in the green right now, and especially just because we have a lot of cryptocurrencies moving up. The biggest ones though, we're going to have XRP, XLM, Quant, hbar, Flare, Sand, all of these tokens have been talked about recently in the news. XRP, XLM, hbar, Algorand, and ADA, Cardano, were all talked about recently in a couple of news articles about President-elect Donald Trump actually going to get rid of the capital gains tax for those cryptocurrencies, the ones that have been created here in the United States and that were registered prior to them issuing a token. And those ones were ones that were kind of like, yes, they did do that. Again, make sure you guys do your guys' own independent research before making any financial decisions, and don't listen to me for any financial decisions. I'm just kind of just sharing what's on the news. But Elon Musk did post this. I thought this was really funny. So he was actually appointed the head of the Department of Government Efficiency along with Vivek Ramaswamy, and he nicknamed it Doge. Obviously, this has no relation to the Doge cryptocurrency, but people are going to put two and two together, and obviously they're going to try to speculate and say, oh, let's buy Doge just because Elon Musk did this. I just thought it was funny, so I wanted to point that out there. But again, the cryptocurrency is not going to be involved with the federal government to my best understanding, and obviously anyone who's applying for this position, he did say, is not going to get paid, so it's going to be just, free rolls in here. So kind of interesting, but I just thought it was funny, so wanted to point it out. Also, a lot of major companies are starting to return to advertising on X. So a lot of people decided that they hated Elon Musk and got rid of their advertising on X. They realized that they lost a bunch of money due to this because there wasn't a lot of people grasping their attention. So IBM, Disney, Comcast, Discovery, Warner Brothers, and Lionsgate Entertainment have reportedly resumed ad campaigns on X. Elon Musk said, just wanted to say that we super appreciate major brands resuming advertising on our platform. And he just says, thank you to his whole team for, their continued support in doing this. But it's just really interesting that a lot of people got rid of this advertising on X, especially when Elon bought Twitter and then changed it now to X. They said that he was going to get rid of free speech and everything else, and he wanted to, obviously condone violence and stuff like that, a whole bunch of BS. So they pulled all their ads. They realized, oh man, our companies are doing really bad. Disney's actually going to have to sell a lot of their companies. So they are one big brand, and then they bought a bunch of other things like ESPN, I believe they also bought Fox. They have a couple of others. Hulu's on them with them as well. So there's a bunch of interesting stuff going on. But they're going to have to start selling some of the pieces of Disney's brand to essentially basically stay afloat. So it's going to be interesting. So finally glad that they're returning to that. And then if you guys don't know, the Health Secretary is now going to be announced as Robert F. Kennedy Jr. If you guys want to, everything that I talk about is going to be linked down below. This video is 5 minutes and 45 seconds. He basically just talks about how bad our foods are here in the United States, how he's going to attack pharmaceutical companies and everything else. I think it's really interesting. Obviously, we got to protect our own bodies, and it's not just a lot of the stuff that's going on around the world. It's mainly just here in the United States. You know, we have an obesity problem here in the United States. There's a bunch of different things. Pharmaceutical companies love to push drugs on Americans. So hopefully we can get this figured out. You know, a lot of the ingredients that are here in the United States are actually banned in like Canada and all of Europe. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens. But after he got announced, the pharmaceutical stocks fall after President-elect Trump names RFK Jr. as the Secretary of Health and Human Services. So if we look at the change, you know, we got a 25.58 points change, so 3.15%, 1.49, 0.89, 0.42, 2.35, 2.62. So all of these big pharmaceutical companies actually ended up going down, especially when he got announced as the health secretary, because he's not going to let pharmaceutical companies run the United States, and he actually wants to help better America's lives, especially in our children. Fruition Productions, so if you guys don't know what they're doing, but they did the XRP documentary with ETHgate and everything else. Apparently, at Real Donald Trump and his team have seen our trailer. Let's go. Please fire Gary and don't appoint Jay Clayton or Bill Hinman in any of your cabinet positions. So it's going to be interesting. He says, how can you tell that he watched it? And he says, we were told some people connected to his team. Obviously, we weren't there, but we were excited to hear that he saw it. We did see some news recently about President-elect Trump, especially with who he's going to be picking for the crypto regulations, and there's talks that he did pick Cardano's founder, Charles Hoskinson. So Cardano's ADA rockets 35% as Hoskinson says he's helping U.S. crypto policy. So Charles Hoskinson ended up appearing in one of his lives that he did. He does recordings just like I do, and he did talk about how he did meet with the Trump team, and he's going to be helping them with crypto regulations. Now, obviously, this is just coming word of mouth from him, but obviously he's not going to lie, hopefully. But the price of the Cardano token did skyrocket because of this news. If we look at Cardano, currently up 52.85% on the week. That's on the 7-day chart. Currently trading at 76.18%. So I think this is great news. Brad Garlinghouse did say this as well, because Charles Hawkins had posted, I did speak with Brad Garlinghouse, and if you guys don't know who he is, he's a CEO over at Ripple, but he's a great CEO and extremely collaborative, and I'm excited to see how the future unfolds. And then Brad Garlinghouse says, thanks for the kind words, Charles Hawkinson. Now it's time for the crypto community to come together, push for a level playing field and clear rules on the road. A rising tide lifts all boats. Completely agree with this. All cryptocurrencies will thrive if we have clear rules and regulations. Now, Canary Funds has filed for an S1 with the SEC Gov. So this is the Securities Exchange Commission to launch an hbar ETF. This comes following Canary's launch of the hbar Trust in October. Now, this did bring the price of the hbar token up a little bit, but with the recent news of President-elect Trump talking about this also, on the 1 day, 26.52%. If we look at the 7-day chart, 75.81. This is when the announcement got made about the ETF. It did rise and then since dropped right away. But since President-elect Trump did announce the news of the capital gains tax not on cryptocurrencies, we have seen a steady rise in the hbar token. So I see this as a big positive, and hbar is one of my favorite tokens as well. Crypto Mason for Sleuth says hbar mentioned in the Wall Street Journal. Let's get it. And that's from the hbar Foundation's page. I think it's really interesting. Getting into our Watcher Guru news, U.S. inflation rises to 2.6%. So now that the Biden administration, they ended up losing, the Democratic Party lost the presidential election for 2024. So Harris did not win. Trump for the Republican Party did. It seems like that they don't really care about, inflating the numbers to make them look a lot better, because obviously they lost So they don't need to have all of this stuff to show, oh yeah, we're doing so great for the economy, vote for us. So US inflation rises to 2.6%, absolutely horrible. The economy is going to be in for a rude awakening. Robinhood to list Pepe, Solana, Cardano, and XRP, and they ended up doing this. So you can actually currently buy any of these tokens on Robinhood. Now, I did make a YouTube short on this, and somebody commented, obviously you need to learn between decentralized exchanges and centralized exchanges, but Robinhood is a stock exchange, and that's how they started. It's a stock platform on their app. But obviously, not everyone's going to be using like Coinbase and Uphold and Binance.us if you live here in the United States. They might only have Robinhood as their only platform that they decide that they want to on and offload stocks and their monetary value. So this just brings more people into the markets. I don't see it as a negative. Robinhood's not one of my favorites, especially with the entire GameStop and AMC freeze that they did. But obviously, any person that's going to be getting into the cryptocurrency space and anyone that allows it, I think, is going to benefit the cryptocurrency space as a whole. But again, I'm not going to be using Robinhood anymore, but obviously I'm not a negative of anyone else who decides to use it. Now, we did see Bitcoin did reach the new all-time high of 90,000. Bitcoin did reach up to 93,000, I believe. So if we look at the 7-day, Bitcoin did rise. It's not going to show it. Yeah, $93,215. So Bitcoin's going on a major run up. Obviously, I think this is very beneficial for the entire cryptocurrency space. We'll see what happens later on. Coinbase officially lists Pepe. And then Gary Gensler releases a statement suggesting he might be leaving the SEC. So remarkable SEC staff. So he says, before I close, I want to say something about the SEC and its staff. It's a remarkable agency. The staff and commission are deeply mission-driven, focused on protecting investors, maintaining fair, orderly, and efficient markets, and facilitating capital formation. The lawyers, accountants, economists, policy experts, and other staff generally could make more money working somewhere else. They choose, though, to work on behalf of the public here at the SEC. It's been a great honor to serve with them, doing the people's work and ensuring that our capital markets remain the best in the world. Conclusion: Sam and Jane Gensler, my mom and dad, never worked in finance or even completed college. When they invested their savings, our family benefited from the securities market's common sense rules on the road. The SEC's effective administration and well-regulated securities market promotes trust, and this is what brings investors and issuers to the markets like fans to a football game. It's what underpins the world's largest capital markets. It's what has contributed to our nation's great economic success these last 90 days. And I've been proud to serve with my colleagues at the SEC who day in and day out work to protect families of the highways of finance. And obviously, former President Trump and now President-elect Trump did say that on day one he's going to be firing Gary Gensler. So for him to release this statement at one of the conferences that he was just at, I think it was the 47th AIL's conference or ALI's conference. It's the 47th anniversary. Gary Gensler did release this statement. So a bunch of people are speculating that he's going to be leaving the SEC. And if he does, again, that's what's causing the price of the cryptocurrency to rise, in my opinion. Again, no financial advice. But a bunch of people are saying this because Gary Gensler had an enforcement approach rather than a rules approach. So instead of having go to Congress and say, hey, we need some clear rules and regulations so we can enforce them, he's just going to say, oh no, we already have all the rules on the books and we can just go after anyone we want to. And that's what they've been doing. So if he does leave or get fired, I do see it as a major benefit for the cryptocurrency space as well as our price increases down the road. Ripple blockchain is reshaping finance, and crypto exchanges need secure, scalable digital assets infrastructure to keep up. With 10% of the assets expected to be tokenized by 2030, Ripple Custody offers institutional-grade customizable infrastructure. I think Ripple's one of the great companies that are out there. CZ, if you guys don't know who he is the co-founder and former CEO over at Binance. He ended up going to prison for a couple of different things. If you guys want to look it up, you guys can. But he ended up, since getting out of prison, wanted to start his Giggle Academy. So it's an online digital educational system for a lot of younger kids, and I see that this is being great and benefiting from it. And if I can get invested in this as soon as he opens it up for investors, especially if there is a cryptocurrency coin to invest in, I'm going to. But I think that this is actually really cool. Obviously, make sure if you guys have kids to look up all of everything that you guys are going to have your kids doing online. But I see this as a major benefit to the cryptocurrency space because I see the education system changing drastically, especially with President-elect Trump saying that he wants to dismantle the Department of Education. So we're going to see a lot of different avenues of new educational approaches coming up. I'm actually a high school teacher in the state that I'm currently in. So I do see this as a major benefit, and this is one that I think is really well, especially CZ. He's a big name in the cryptocurrency space. So I see it as a net positive. Many nations will use Bitcoin as reserves and other cryptocurrencies too. So this just shows that more benefits are going to be coming for cryptocurrency and holders if you choose to hold in the long term. Now, 18 states, so 18 U.S. states are suing the SEC, accusing Gary Gensler of a crypto overreach. And this was the enforcement actions that I was talking about. And Stuart Alradi comments on this. So Nebraska's Attorney General Mike Hillard says the SEC overstepped its authorization from Congress and is attempting to classify cryptocurrencies as investment contracts like stocks or bonds that are the subject to the SEC's regulations. Read more about our lawsuit by clicking there. And Stuart Alradi, he's the chief legal officer over at Ripple, says Gary Gensler's institutional damage to the SEC runs deep. His legacy is undermining American innovation, and failing to uphold the law is shameful. With 18 states suing to hold him accountable, I look forward to him soon becoming an unfortunate footnote in the SEC history. Absolutely agree with that. Bitstamp did say, go XRP, it's time. And they did do that on November 14th prior to the price of the XRP token going up. So I think that that was a really good timing on their end. Obviously, they have no clue what's going on. And then Bitwise, we're excited to announce that today the NYSE ARCA has filed to list the Bitwise 10 crypto index funds, the world's first and largest crypto index funds, as a ETP. Brad Garlinghouse comments XRP, BTC, ETH, SOL. So XRP, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana. That's the alphabet soup I like to see. Absolutely agree with this. Thank you guys for tuning into my video, and I appreciate seeing you guys on my next one, and thank you guys for your guys' support. If you guys can invest with a big dog, stay on the porch. Thank you guys, and have a good one.